Last Sunday, the New York Jets knew they'd have to play their best defensive game of the season and crank up their passing attack if they were to derail the white-hot Dallas Cowboys. But the Jets could only score once on the NFC's second-best defense. The Cowboys completely shackled New York by holding them to only 137 yards in total offense. They also sacked Jet passer Matt Robinson 5 times to finish the season with the most sacks of any NFL squad. The Cowboy attack had few problems in solving the Jet defense, however, as they scored early and often. Right now, Dallas is in such a good groove that even fumbles can magically transform into touchdowns. The Cowboys romp 30-7 and appear to be peaking at just the right time for the playoffs. At the other end of the spectrum are the San Francisco 49ers, possessors of pro football's worst record. But last week against Detroit, they had some moments of grandeur. Wide receiver Freddie Solomon, number 88, was pressed into emergency duty at quarterback when injuries beset the regulars, and the ex-signal caller from Tampa University started off most successfully. But it's been quite some time since Fred has quarterbacked on a regular basis, and it showed as the Lions' silver rush forced him into some costly errors. San Francisco turned the ball over 7 times, the most damaging being a fumble recovery by free safety Jimmy Allen, number 40, who turned the miscue into 6 points. Detroit won easily 33-14 to close out the season in fine fashion. After a slow start, the Lions suddenly got the fever, and they now appear to be real contenders for NFC Central Division honors in '79. The 2 finest rookies this season have been San Diego's sensational wide receiver John Jefferson and Houston's battering ram Earl Campbell. Under the dome last Sunday, both showed why they have graduated at the very top of this year's freshman class. Campbell became the first rookie to lead the league in rushing since Jim Brown did it in 1957, while Jefferson tied the seasonal mark for most touchdown receptions by a first-year player, 13. Thanks to these 2 talents, the game became a wide-open, high-scoring affair that seesawed back and forth for better than 3 quarters. But finally, San Diego quarterback Dan Fouts took charge. He threw for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns on the day, while leading his team to a 45-24 victory. By tying or setting several team passing marks, Fouts enabled the explosive Chargers to rack up over 500 yards in total offense against the playoff-bound Oilers. San Diego ended the year with their first winning season since 1969, notching victories in 7 of their last 8 games, while scoring 122 points in their final 3 contests alone. 1978 is over for the Chargers, but you can't blame them for being excited about next year's chances. In the Kingdome, the 16th week of the NFL season meant different things for both the Seahawks and the visiting Chiefs. For Kansas City, all that was left was a chance to begin next season with a win in the final game of this season, something they very nearly accomplished. But while number 32 Tony Reed and his mates took a run at what would have been their 5th victory of the season, Seattle managed to produce more firepower, and not all of it came through their normal aerial bombardment. Number 24, Al Hunter, dashed for 133 yards of Seattle's 209-yard rushing effort, while Jim Zorn added to his 3-year-old Northwest legacy that has reached Paul Bunyan proportions. Number 10 passed for 256 yards while chopping the Chiefs down for Seattle's 9th win, the most ever by a 3-year-old expansion team. Seattle and Kansas City weren't the only teams playing this final Sunday for little more than personal achievement. The Buffalo Bills spent their last game against the Baltimore Colts, helping rookie Terry Miller become only the 10th rookie to surpass the 1,000-yard barrier. Miller helped to shuffle Buffalo towards a 21-14 victory, mainly because once again without Burt Jones, the punchless Colts had to rely on the success of Chinese fire drill football to produce points. While Baltimore lost without an injured Burt Jones, the New Orleans Saints won with a healthy Archie Manning. Number 8 concluded his first completely healthy season by passing his team over Tampa Bay 17-10. It was not only Manning's finest season, it was the Saints' best year ever with 7 wins. While the Buccaneers couldn't stop Manning, Pittsburgh managed to put a hold on Denver's quarterbacks by using a variety of blitzes. The Steelers are blitzing more because their front four hasn't been able to reach the passer very often. But against the Broncos, sending linebackers and safeties accounted for 6 sacks. This ramble-gamble style of attack contained Denver most of the day. Steeler offense muscled in for 3 early touchdowns as both clubs headed towards the playoffs in a contest played more for pride than anything else. The difference proved to be 2 Terry Bradshaw touchdown passes, strikes that lifted Pittsburgh past Denver 21-17. While these two battled in a contest with no postseason meaning, for the first time all year, the Chicago Bears got a chance to strut their stuff in a game with some significance. The Washington Redskins' hopes for a wild card spot hinged on winning this game, and at times they reflected the urgency of the hour. However, each opportunity that presented itself managed to escape them, while Chicago seized 2 chances and cashed both for all they were worth. Walter Payton flashed to form on this 44-yard beauty to open the Bears' scoring, while Chicago's special teams closed its point production on a hustling 73-yard Steve Schubert punt return. Bears were never threatened until late, when a ghost named Billy Kilmer stepped under center and scared some life into a morbid Redskin offense. Kilmer's miracle proved to be only a final hurrah, as Washington was too late and a 14-10 loser. The Cincinnati Bengals ended their disastrous season definitely on the upswing. While early this year they seem to have a tiger by the tail, next season the Bengals to a man are convinced they'll be contenders, not tail enders. Evidence is their third straight triumph, a 48-point drubbing of Cleveland in what is billed as the Battle of Ohio. Massive fullback Pete Johnson, number 46, set a Cincinnati rushing record with 160 yards, while former Ohio State Buckeye teammate Archie Griffin had a banner day, catching one TD and passing for another, as the Bengals rolled up the second highest point total in their history. Under new coach Homer Rice and with their quarterback Ken Anderson healthy again, Cincinnati wishes the season was beginning, not ending. About all the Browns had to cheer was the exciting runs of their scatback Greg Pruitt, number 34. He ripped for 182 yards, and despite hurting half the season with injuries, barely missed achieving the 1,000-yard mark for the fourth consecutive year. While neither the Browns or Bengals had playoff worries, in rain-soaked California, 2 games were played that decided the outcome of the NFC Central Division. The Rams demolished the playoff dreams of the Green Bay Packers and also assured themselves of the important home field advantage should they advance to the conference championship. Los Angeles, whose fortunes have seemed to be on the decline in recent games, never trailed, as they easily handled Bart Starr's ambitious Packers 31-14. Green Bay's only touchdowns were both scored by running star Turdell Middleton, number 34. Despite Middleton's end zone excursions, the Rams' defense was devastating, holding ground-oriented Green Bay to just 75 yards and forcing the Pack into critical errors. The biggest coming when Rod Perry, number 49, picked off a David Whitehurst dying quail. For the Pro Bowl-bound Perry, it was his 8th interception and the 3rd he's returned for a touchdown this year. In Oakland, a relaxed Raider team out of the playoffs for the first time in 7 years pulled out all stops in defeating Minnesota 27-20. While trick plays like the tight end reverse pass failed, it mattered little, for the Vikings literally handed the Raiders the game on a silver and black platter. Minnesota, in their biggest game of the year, coughed up the football 7 times. Despite the defeat because of the Packer loss, Minnesota eased into the NFC Central Division title. With a record of only 8-7-1, the Vikings have the worst record of any of the 10 playoff teams. But as everyone in the NFL knows, once postseason play begins, anything can happen. In 1978, the New York Giants were able to silence perennial doomsayers with a 5-3 record halfway through the season. Then, like a flag left too long flapping in a storm, the Giants' winning season began to unravel. After 6 losses in a row, fans burned their tickets and owners fired their coaches. But there was only one way left to shake loose the memory of the fumble heard round the NFL. They had to beat Philadelphia, the team which had started their downfall. Wind gusting up to 40 miles per hour and hard-charging Eagle defenders flattened the Giants' attempts at revenge and fanned the flames of Philadelphia's desires for a winning season and hopes of a possible playoff berth, the first in 18 years. On the Eagles' first possession, they established their ground attack with number 31, running back Wilbert Montgomery. Montgomery rushed for over 1,200 yards this season, breaking a 29-year-old club rushing record. This 47-yard run paved the way to the Eagles' first score. On the next drive, number 7, Ron Jaworski used the wind to dangle the ball above the mere mortal reach of Giant defenders. Lanky Harold Carmichael simply reached over and plucked the prize. With the Eagles holding a 13-0 lead 10 minutes into the game, Philadelphia's defense decided the outcome by knocking flat try after try by New York's struggling offense. The last thread in the Giants' season-long unraveling was number 55 linebacker Frank LeMaster's interception for the clinching Eagle touchdown. For Philadelphia, the winds of change had brought a winning season and a long overdue playoff spot. The 20-3 win over the Giants, coupled with Green Bay's loss to the Rams, sends the Eagles to Georgia, December 24th. Meanwhile, Philadelphia's playoff opponent, the Atlanta Falcons, were piddling around in a meaningless game against the St. Louis Cardinals. Thanks to the Bears' win over Washington on Saturday, the Falcons could take it slow and easy. But try to tell that to Dennis Pearson, number 81. Pearson ran a kickoff back 100 yards for an Atlanta team record. In many respects, the game typified the Cardinals' season. St. Louis started off in the wrong direction and hit rock bottom for 8 straight games before rookie head coach Bud Wilkinson got his first win. From there, the Cards won 4 straight, finishing the season with confidence in themselves. But in this lame duck game, the unpredictable Cards continued their Jekyll and Hyde performance. At the end, the Cardinals' true personality surfaced. Against Atlanta, quarterback Jim Hart passed for 348 yards. Many of the yards were gathered in by spectacular catches by Portland State rookie wide receiver Dave Stief, number 84. Stief had 9 catches for 183 yards on the day. Dave couldn't believe that catch either, but in looking at it again from a different angle, you can see he maintains control of the ball against his face guard. With 3 touchdowns through the air, the ground troops decided to add their own style of aerial bombardment to the rout. Of course, no good form of entertainment should be without the unexpected. Jim Hart had not run for a touchdown since 1967. So against Atlanta, he made up for it by lumbering into the end zone twice. It was sort of a Christmas present to each other. Hart said of the Cards' 42-21 win over the Falcons, "We were pretty relaxed. We were having fun."